Hey everyone, it's VAUGHAN LIDDICOAT, CEO of Global Business Formula and co-founder of the Achievement Club. I am so excited you're here today because I'm going to share the 3 harsh truths about success that they won't tell you about. So stay tuned to the end where I'm going to teach you what I have spent years struggling to figure out, but I've finally done it and I know I can help shortcut your learning. Now, have you ever had these challenges where you've set a big goal for yourself and then nothing happens? Or maybe you moved into that job or career path and you packed up everything and you shifted over because you thought that it was going to bring you the promise that you were seeking. Or maybe you've got a message on your heart, something you want to do to help the world and to serve at a higher level. Or perhaps that you've just bought into the idea like everyone else from the fantasy marketing out there that you buy success or it's something you finally arrive at. Well, it's interesting because so many people that I talk to all over the world feel the same way. They think that, once you got the house and the car, the perfect partner, so to speak, or the health, that you'll finally be happy and successful and fulfilled, which is absolute nonsense. It's not how it works at all. You see, it really does come down to how you define success. And success, from what I learned, is a progressive realization of a worthy goal. So whilst you've got to have the goal and you've got to work towards it every day, once you arrive there, it doesn't actually mean that you're going to be fulfilled. Now, what's interesting is I struggled for years. Like when I was 19, I sort of first learned about this whole goal-setting concept. And so I'd set a goal to become a champion dancer. Right now, I'm here in my studio recording this for you, wherever you are in the world. And I set this goal under the sort of pretext that I'll do it pretty quickly. I said I was going to become a world top dancer. Now, this is a crazy goal because at the time, I couldn't bust out a move to save my soul. Like my feet, they weren't coordinated at all. I just sort of wanted to do it because it was a nice place to meet girls and I got the wife of my dreams from it. But I set this goal because I just wanted it. Now, I was told that I didn't have to know how to do it. And that was the smartest advice I got. Because most other people I talked to about goals said that you have to know how you're going to have to achieve the goal. So I set this goal, I gave myself a decade to do it. Now, I honestly didn't think I would be able to get there, but I gave myself 10 years to do it. Now within that, I gave myself smaller goals to achieve that I thought I'd rapidly be able to get there. Like I set some financial goals that were like huge, relative to what I was earning at the time. I thought that money would help fund where I wanted to go, it would fund the dream. I wanted to have a certain amount of businesses under my belt. I wanted to buy some properties and I wanted to be able to still travel the world. I set all these other goals within the sort of umbrella of this big 10-year goal. And what was interesting is it took way longer than I thought. So here I am setting these goals and I set these sort of stepping stone goals, if you will. And I thought these goals would happen like one year after the other. Man, was I wrong. Like, quite literally, I hit the big 10-year goal, and in other training videos, I'll explain how you can hit these big goals. But all these other little ones that I thought would amount to this big one, they took so much longer. In fact, some of them didn't even happen. I met with failure, rejection, I lost money, I got into so much debt. Like, I had so many things come up against me. But what I'm going to teach you in this video will help you to overcome those obstacles on the way to achieving the big goal. Now, in the old world, which most people are still bought into, and if you're watching this, I honor that because I doubt you're one of these thinkers, but most people believe that job security is what's going to help them live the life of their dreams. It's going to help them achieve the success. And in fact, the opposite is true. Most of the people in the town I live in work for the government. They're some of the most depressed, unhappy people that I've ever met. So you'd think that these high 6-figure salaries would make their life easier when the converse is true. Yet I've met so many astounding people with messages on their heart, entrepreneurial dreamers and aspirational speakers and people who really want to make a change who almost have nothing, and they're some of the most happiest people I've ever met. So why is that? Well, it certainly comes down to mindset, it certainly comes down to attitude. There are definitely qualities you can learn and possess that will help you think that way. But the new world really is about lifestyle choice. You see, when you're going after the goal and you get the goal, sometimes you're actually going to think, well, what's next? What's the other thing I want to do? it's quite a fascinating thing because you can get the big goal in your heart that you work and strive at for years, the thing you sacrifice time and money and friends and social situations. And I'm not saying to sacrifice your friends, but you know what I mean. Like if you're really going for something, you're really going to put everything into it. And you finally get it, and what happens? You go, what's next? It's quite a normal thing. So therefore, we've got to enjoy the journey. We must know that success is really, it's not the journey in itself. You've got to actually enjoy that journey. You've got to love the journey. You've got to love the struggle. You've got to love the triumph. You have to love the adversity. You've got to love the rejection. And I know that's going to be hard, but that's what this training video is all about. The 3 harsh truths about success that nobody will tell you about. The first one is that your results at the beginning are going to be smaller than your expectation. Now, you must expect to succeed. You must have a belief, a rock-solid belief that you will succeed and get what you want. But you must also understand that at first, when you set out in that new business venture, when you set out in that new career, when you set out on that new pathway, do you know what's going to happen? Your results are going to be smaller than you think. You're going to go out there and try to make the sales, and a few months will go by and you'll go, I thought I'd be earning more by now. I really thought I'd have more followers on Instagram. I thought I'd have more people on Facebook sharing my content. I thought I'd have a bigger list. I thought I would be at a higher level in my career. I thought I'd be promoted earlier. That's the first rule. That's the truth that rarely many people will talk about because people want you to buy into fantasy marketing. They want you to believe that it will take 30 days. They want you to believe that it'll happen in 8 weeks. Now, things can change in 8 weeks and you can certainly learn skill sets that will start you on the road, but everybody's different. It's going to take time. And do you know why? It's because we all get tested. There is a test you've got to pass, and when you pass it, you enter the promised land. The promised land where very few get to, yet everybody aspires to. And you have the potential and the ability to get there, but you've got to pass the test. So the first truth to know is that it's going to be smaller than what you think when you first do this. Now, the second rule is that it's going to be harder than what you think. So you set the goal, you think, yeah, this is what I want. This would represent ultimate success in my life. And then guess what happens? It's way harder than what you think. Like when I set the goal to become a world-class dancer, and I literally had like 2 left feet, like, okay, I knew it'd be hard, but if I knew it'd be this hard, oh wow, I don't know if I would have done it. You know, but there was so much joy in turning up and trying to bring my A game every time I stepped into the studio to dance. You know, in working in the partnership context to try to dance better with some other human being, that was very challenging. And the skills I had to develop, not only physically as a dancer, the technical ability, but the skills in my mindset so I could overcome those days I didn't feel like dancing, those days that I had a crap day in the office, or you know, a relationship wasn't working, I still had to show up and be really good in that moment. Those are the skills I'm talking about. Not only that, the skills of developing finance, like how to manage money, how to direct money, how to build wealth. See, this is one of the things that I've been studying and doing for years. I have been learning how to compound my money. I've been learning how to build businesses that pay me while I sleep. It's taken me years to figure out, but I've done it, and that's what I'm suggesting you do as well. But understand that the skills you need to develop to become the highly paid expert or to become the known leader in your field are what takes so much time. People don't get that. They're like, man, I did not realize it was this hard. I didn't realize to become a speaker that I'd have to practice so much. To really get my words to flow would take so much sacrifice. I didn't know that to build that business would take so many more hours in the beginning. And maybe you've been doing the business you're in for 20 years and you still find that you're putting in way too much time. Perhaps you need a better strategy. But we have to understand that the results may be smaller at the beginning than we actually expect, but it's also going to be way harder than we thought. The third principle is that it's going to take way more time than you think as well. So you set the goal and you go, all right, Vaughn, I understand that the results might be a bit smaller. I'm cool with that. Well, this principle will test that. Are you really cool with that? Because I'm going to ask you this. What if you've been doing your pathway, your road to this goal for years, like 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and you're nowhere near your goal? How are you cool with it then? Because you're going to have to be, because that is part of the test. And we all get tested. You've got to pass it. You have the potential, the power, the ability to do it, but it's going to take way more time than you think. And that is critical to understand. So whilst in my head, I set a goal to become a certain level in dancing from like scratch to the world-class level in 10 years. The interesting thing is 10 years is a long time. And these smaller goals I set in between it, most of them didn't happen. I hit a few big milestones, but so much more time went on in between to make the money, to get the properties that I wanted to buy, to make the business I wanted to. And I had to move overseas to make part of this goal happen. But that was the crazy part. It took so much more time than I thought. There was so much more sacrifice and investment. You have to ask yourself, are you willing to put the time in? Are you a lifer, as Bo Eason would say? You got to be committed. And you don't say, if I don't get it in 5 years, I'm out. You say, there is no time limit. I'm making it happen. That's the belief you've got to have at the beginning. If you can't accept those 3 truths on the pathway to your ultimate goals, then forget success as a concept, stick in the complacent, mediocre life, sit there and just be comfortable. There's nothing wrong with that. People need to do that, but I'm of the belief if you're watching this, you've attracted it, and you're not part of that group. Am I right? Well, thank you for watching this. Those 3 truths you won't find in a university, they won't teach you in the office, and you certainly won't get it at school. I want you to pass this message on, but I want you, more importantly, to take a seat back. Take out a piece of paper, write down what those 3 truths were for you, answer them yourself, and then direct it to a goal that's been resting on your heart. And that, my friend, is what success will mean, because you're on the journey, the time's going by, but you're loving it anyway. The struggle's real, you're feeling it, but you're turning up every day with your A game, loving it. How good is that? That's the way you should live. Until my next message, this is Vaughan Liddicoat. Make sure you go out there and serve from your heart and always be grateful.